Hello.
Hello, Nicky and Sue here again with our little YouTube channel, back in our shed with our lovely new backdrop of some of our blankets that we've made, which I think you'll agree are absolutely gorgeous. We love them, they're so soft. So if we stop and start stroking them, you have to forgive us. So today we thought we'd unroll a few raw fleeces, show you what we're looking for, have a little chat about different types of wool, and Sue is far more of an expert in this than I am.
Tell me about that.
So this is a Portland, one of the rare breeds of Sue's, but over to you.
So what we thought today was we would start with this Portland, because this one has not been, I can't quite remember where I bought this from. Did you just hold that book up to the thing? So that's our picture. On the internet you can find all these pictures, but there are different names for different parts of the fleece, and they all, the diamond bit, the bit across here, these are the good bits to use. So when I'm sorting fleece,
and I'll give you a close-up of that in a moment.
Yeah. Now, fleeces are always rolled in a certain way, and the trick, and this one's been in a box for quite a long time, they are rolled when they're shorn. The shearer will wrap the fleece like this, and then the neck is twisted up and used as a tie to hold the fleece together. So the first thing to do, I'll move those out of the way. There's a reason for those. So the first thing we have to do is try and work out how to unroll the fleece, keeping it, now we're showing what we're looking for here, and we've got an example here. We've got some second cuts falling off this one already, which I'll just
show them what this is a second cut here. You can see it's kind of shortened fuzzy bits. So what is a second cut, so?
It's when they're shearing the sheep, because good shearers will take more care of the sheep than of the fleece, especially if they're doing it quickly, and it's better for them to have a second pass at it and not risk cutting the sheep.
So it's the second pass that creates the second cut. But interesting to know, because a lot of people, I think, still believe that shearing is cruel. And as you said, any shearer worth their salt takes more care of the sheep than the fleece.
Yeah, especially in today's market.
Yeah, the farmer, smallholder won't allow their flock to be damaged in any way. So shearers are 99% of the time extremely kind, and if there is a bad one, they don't tend to stay in business for very long.
No, they don't. Now, the fleeces should be, well, this one's kind of, it can be tricky this stage, trying to work out what we're doing. This one's got itself all muddled up.
It has.
So what we're trying to do here is, given up trying to unroll it properly, we'll show you another one shortly.
This is not uncommon, we quite often end up doing this.
So you should unroll it and you would have...
I think I've got one in a minute we can show them with our other rare breed there.
Yes. So as we said, this is Portland, and actually I'm looking at this and thinking this is not a great example.
But that's useful to show what to look for and what not to look for. If any of you are thinking you might sort of want to start processing your own fleeces, at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet and buy one that's in this stinky state.
And the smell is lovely.
Well, we're used to it and we love the smell. And also you'll never need hand cream again, because the lanolin off a raw fleece is fantastic. It's just, they call them greasy fleeces, or in the grease.
In the grease.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do, first of all, we turn it, just turning this one upside down.
Yeah, so this is just cut side up.
Yes.
Let me just bring the camera over a little bit so we can have a closer look at that.
As you can see, it's not overly easy to sort it out into, but sort of just picking up and throwing it around a bit, throwing it gently around a bit. So we know there's the neck piece. Keep hold of that. Try and work out what's going on here. So, here we go.
So what is it we're actually going to be looking for here, Sue?
Well,
what makes a good fleece or a bad fleece?
Depends what you want to use it for. I mean,
you said you were going to use this one potentially for spinning.
Yes. So I will be trying to get this roughly in some sort of order.
It's fighting back.
It is fighting back. This one's... So when I've got it over like this, I will look through and try and pick off the second cuts. And there are lots on here.
There are.
Now, if you are spinning, you're going to use this for spinning. Well, this is where the buckets come in. Can we have the pink one, please, first of all?
Pink bucket. This is for...
well, if you're doing this at home, that's just where we dump all the rubbish. So try and pick off...
I'll put it down there in the puddle from yesterday's blanket.
You can give it a bit of a shake as you go, but you have to be a bit careful that you don't sort of cross-contaminate your fleece with a nice bit with some second cuts.
While you're doing that, I'm also picking out what we call VM, which is vegetable matter. Although it can sometimes include the odd beetle and various things like that. But it's basically foreign bodies that have been picked up while the sheep are out in the field. You can imagine they've got this beautiful long coat and they're out with brambles and grass seeds and insects. So you do get bits and pieces. It's also worth mentioning, when you buy a fleece, a whole fleece raw like this, it will be something similar to this. However, if you were to go straight to the farm and buy it, it'll be completely raw and it will be what they call unskirted. Now, skirting is a process which is done, hopefully, very, very soon after shearing. And it's removing the dags, which is basically sheep poo.
Yeah.
And any really nasty, waste, obvious, scrotty bits. You take that out before it's rolled, which helps preserve the actual fleece itself, because you don't want a lot of poo fermenting away inside it. So this one has been skirted. So the VM that I'm finding is mainly vegetable and not animal.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, this fleece is now more or less, we won't spend, at home, if I were doing this at home, I'd probably spend a lot longer sorting this to get it all in the right shape. So what we're going to try and do now, we've got it cut side up, we are now going to tip it over.
Right.
And that will show you a bit of additional skirting. So,
do you go that way?
Yeah, you ready?
Ooh, it didn't go very well. It's not bad, that's not bad.
Yeah. So bearing in mind I've got the neck end here, always helpful, because you know we tend to look for the poo out the opposite end. Still a bit tangled.
That means I've got the bum, and in fact I've got a beautiful bit of either leg or tail there.
Yes. Now, I'd say this is not a particularly great fleece. Portlands can be beautiful. This one's got some good bits and some bad bits, so I would sort this. I'm very particular with my spinning rolls, and I only keep the ones that I want to.
We've got raddle marks here, so they're worth mentioning.
Yes, so some of this will be the farm's marker, because that's how they identify their sheep. Some of this is where the tup's been, I'm guessing. You can work out what's going on there.
A tup is a male sheep that goes into the field and does the business, and they wear a little chalk marker on their chest. So when they mount the ewe, the smallholder knows which tup has been with which ewe, so they can kind of keep track on what crossbreeds, etc., or what matings have happened.
Yes, we're looking at our fleece again now. We've got it more or less, and you tend to find animals, apparently, will stand with their back to the weather. So you will always expect the back end here to be coarser, more matted. And if you want to zoom in again with this.
That is quite coarse, isn't it, there?
It is. We can see this bit here. It's actually softer than it looks, but for this part, so this is where I start the grading. I'm not an expert, I'll just do this. So I have a selection of little buckets. Nicky mentioned about skirting. This one we've still got a bit of stuff here that we definitely don't want to keep. And you'll find as you do more, see here, we've got, this is very unlikely to wash out. I won't keep this, I've got lots of fleece. So in fact, looking at that, I'm going to take off all of that and dispose of it. I don't want that.
in the pink bucket.
Gone in the waste bucket. And this I don't want. In fact, there's probably going to be quite a bit of this I don't want. You can pick bits out as you go. Now then.
And we should say this is for spinning. If I was looking at a fleece like this, the bit that you've just thrown away would be ideal for my rug making, because I like it to be cotted or matted in advance of using it. So depending on the end use of your fleece, you'll have different requirements, different waste, and you'll find that certain breeds tend to work better for you.
Yeah, Portland does felt nicely. It's actually a brilliant all-round fleece. If you can get, now when we say good ones, it's all very subjective, because you've got to bear in mind that these breeds have developed over the years. Traditionally in this country they're quite regional, so they will have developed to suit the area they live in, which is why your mountain sheep will tend to have a slightly coarser fleece. Now if you want to make a skin soft jumper, maybe you don't want to go for a mountain breed. Portland, when you get a good one, a good Portland can give a merino a run for its money. I will stand by that because I've had some beauties.
And those of you that aren't into wool and sheep already, merino is considered to be the sort of the softest wool. It's the one that you know you want your merino jumpers if you're going to be wearing them by your skin. They're not going to be itchy.
Actually, on that point, there's a lot of companies now selling merino undergarments for climbers, sports people and everything, because there is an acknowledgement now that wool is better than a lot of the man-made fibres that have been used. They're expensive, but if you are going to buy merino, check where it's come from. This is not something that happens in this country, but a merino has been bred over the years to have like wrinkles in its skin, and so that it grows more fleece and you get more fleece per animal. The problem is that, especially in the countries where they grow these sheep, they are susceptible to fly strike, and there is a process called mulesing, which sounds horrendous to me, and I would not buy a merino. I'd always check the source of merino, because basically what they do is shave the skin off the bottom of the lamb so that it doesn't grow any wool, and therefore it's less prone to the flies hiding in the wool. It's horrendous. That's when you see the PETA adverts and everything, PETA, whatever it's called, that's where the cruelty comes in.
Yes, yeah.
Buy British wool, you're not going to get that.
No.
It's not a practice that's happening. It's being phased out everywhere. But do check, if you buy merino, that you do not buy any mulesed wool. So,
and it should say, well, people should be able to tell you, if you ask, they're going to have to say,
yes.
Is it mulesed or not?
Yes, they certainly should. New Zealand, I don't think they do it. South Africa, I don't think they do it. In fact, I think Australia is probably the only country.
Left.
And as I say, they are phasing it out, but
equally they are the largest producer, supplier. So yeah, just watch that. We're not knocking merino. Love it. Use it a lot, particularly because I do needle felting as well. Merino's fab because it dyes beautifully, different colours, and it's so soft. Actually, talking of dyeing, just going back to this one that Sue's working on at the moment, the Portland, one of the blankets behind us, the coloured bits in that are dyed Portland. So a fleece like this ends up looking like that.
So, actually, I'm thinking that this might be a good rug. It's not really, I would not bother prepping this for spinning. I'd take this bit off here, that's a bit grubby. It has been skirted, it's not got any really nasty bits on, but you can see where you've got some bits in there. These grubby bits, I'll just get rid, even for felting, because we don't want dirty fleece.
So shall we have a look at a different fleece?
Yeah. This is actually quite a nice fleece.
We'll find something to do with it, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's a bit that I just would like to show you, something to watch out for. Sheep have a habit, I think, I mean I'm not a farmer, so if you're a farmer please feel free to correct me. They like to stick their heads in thorny bits, so sometimes we get a lot of little seed matter. This one's not too bad. The bigger ones, the bits you can pick out, but if you get a bit that's got a lot of seed embedded in it, well, unless you've got a lot of time, I throw those bits away, I don't keep those bits. But they're okay. So, here we have a Hebridean fleece.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
we have a Norse Roddlesay.
You just told me it was a hare.
That's because I call everything a hare.
I was thinking that's a bit strange.
Yeah, funny colour.
Yeah, okay. Now this one is definitely a high welfare animal.
Oh.
It's got a carbon footprint of about 3 miles. These, we went to collect these, didn't we?
We did.
From a lovely small holder up the road.
I want to be reincarnated as one of his sheep.
Oh.
They live the best life.
Yes. Apparently, I think the joke was he talks to his sheep more than he does to his wife.
I believe him.
Yeah. He absolutely loves his animals. They live in a beautiful little...
it's like a glade valley, isn't it?
Yeah.
The river through the bottom.
Really clean shelter where they go when they
it's
want
just stunning.
Yeah.
Chickens running around and gorgeous place.
These are pet sheep.
Yeah, they are very much pet sheep.
Very, very well looked after from an animal welfare point of view.
And it's worth saying also, the Portland we just showed you is a rare breed. These are probably even rarer, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes.
Norse Roddlesay worldwide
very,
are ridiculously rare. But they're gorgeous. I really hope they come back in popularity. They are a beautiful sheep and they produce a beautiful fleece. You can see this one already. You're seeing it's a lovely grey colour with bits of white going to almost black and toffee. We've got other ones of this in the shed because we had 5, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they vary from almost sort of slate grey through to a
dark brown.
We've got dark brown and we've got like a pale toffee. So they are every colour imaginable. They're beautifully soft, relatively small, gorgeous.
Right,
so we'll flip this one open.
This one is in half. Is it just
Oh,
in half?
look at
Now
that.
This is a perfect.
This is beautiful. I'm just going to get a close up on that. Special treat for you. You won't see many as gorgeous as this. Now that is a beautiful fleece. You can see the different colours. See that beautiful dark section in the middle? And if you could just hold out the length of the locks, Sue, there to show. It's got beautiful long locks and it's got what we call an undercoat as well. Some of the more upland breeds can have, like Icelandic is another breed that has this. It's a soft, downy underlayer with much longer, I suppose, guard hairs really over the top.
Yeah.
A bit like a lot of breeds of dogs have.
Now this sheep, because it lives a very, very spoilt life, has got some bits of straw in it somewhere where it's been having a little nose around.
A lie down in its garden house.
Yeah. You can just pull these out. These are fairly big bits of straw and they're easy for us.
There's a little bit up the middle where there is a bit more trapped in. So again, from Sue's spinning point of view, it would probably be worth it, but it would take a little bit of working on. Or otherwise, you can just take out a section that is bad and squidge up together.
Yeah. This is from rugging, yeah.
Yeah, for a rugging point of view, I don't actually see a problem with it.
This one's pretty much ready to go, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So I wouldn't spin this fleece because it's what we call cotted.
Yes.
If we can flip it over here.
Yeah, it's almost felted on the back already, you see?
Yeah.
It will come apart, but it's not going to be ideal for spinning.
And for spinning you want a more open fleece, otherwise you'll be battling it all.
By open you mean sort of falling to
apart,
pieces?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I love this fleece.
This is a beautiful, this will make a beautiful rug.
You'll have to excuse us, we both get rather carried away about fleeces, particularly when they're as lovely as this one.
That's the beauty.
Right, shall we roll him up?
Roll him up, yeah.
Right.
Now, this one is a Jacob. We have unrolled this in the past. This one is not a total mystery to us.
In fact, can I say, we've done more than unroll it.
Oh,
We
yes.
actually rolled it in the first place. We went to a lovely local small holding, again only a few miles away, on Shearing Day. We sort of said, yeah, we'll help. Little did we know, we were absolutely exhausted by the end of it. I'll try and show you a picture of the back of my car when we left there with, was it 38 fleeces? Something like that.
We only just got me in the car.
Yes.
Because the fleeces came first.
They had Jacob's, Shetlands, well 1 or 2 Shetlands, Hebrideans and Manx, how do you pronounce it? Manx
Lofton.
Manx Lofton, thank you. And they were allowed to an extent to interbreed. It was sort of, again, a beautiful valley side, and they were all out together, so there was an element of interbreeding. So this one is a Jacob, but it might well, and I'm looking at the crimp, might well have a little bit of Shetland through it, might have a little bit of Hebridean through it, looking at how dark some of it is.
This is, well, Jacobs, again, they're all sheep. Vary. You can't just go by breed. If you do get a chance, I'll tell you what I did forget to mention. If you can buy your fleece direct from the farmer, then do. Something that we look out for, we take, it's difficult with this one because it's all kind of felted, a staple and give it a tug. And it should be quite a sound tug.
That's nice.
If you do that and it pulls apart, you've got a weak fleece, and that's no, well, I don't think it's any good for you either, is it?
It's going to cause you a lot of problems, whether you're spinning it, making a rug from it, felting it. It's going to cause problems. You want something with that sort of snap when you pull the...
You want a nice pop to it when you pull a staple out.
Pull the staple, that's the word I was looking for. We're actually going to make a rug out of this one today, hopefully. Yes. Jacob is not a rare breed, but we're showing this one because it is one of the more unusual fleeces in that it does have patches, a bit like a Frisian cow sometimes. They're very much brown, almost black, and creamy white.
Now, this particular fleece we're going to use for rugging. As you can see again, this one is cotted.
That's a lovely bit of cotton there.
And it's perfect for making rugs.
What we need, that's ideal. We're using that bit.
I wouldn't be using this one for spinning. But having said that, I've had some beautiful. There's another local lady keeps Jacobs, and I've got a beautiful Jacob fleece at home.
I know the lady you mean. She was next to me at Cornwally one year, I believe.
Yes. Now, I'm just taking off these bits. These, we can't complain about these fleeces not being skirted properly because we did it. We were literally, Nicky was helping the sheep into the shearer, and then throwing them over the fence, and I was rolling them as quickly as I could.
I was trying to defend myself from large, four-horned, very angry sheep leaping out of the shearing shed and trying to persuade them to go left instead of right. I took my life in my hands.
And we have to say, watching the shearer work, Nicky saw him more than I, because I was bent over rolling fleeces. It takes longer to roll one than it does to shear one. There wasn't a single sheep hurt, was there?
No, it was brilliant.
Not even like a shaving scratch.
No, and the speed was incredible. He was fab.
Yeah, I've done worse things to my legs trying to use her.
Oh yes, yeah, get the lady shave out of there.
So, as I say, bit here's an example that hasn't been properly dagged.
Yeah, so we'll just whip that little bit off there. But by and large, this one is pretty good. I'll give you full marks for this one, Sue. You did well when you were rolling this one.
Back-breaking one. Actually, it wasn't too bad at all.
It was fun. It was a fun day.
This is our version of a fun day out. And then on the way back, we came down the A30, somewhere near the temple, the new temple roadworks, and we did a little detour, and we saw some little badger-faced sheep that we stopped. Couldn't really take photographs of them because they ran away when they saw us, but it was lovely. This is our idea of heaven, going out and having a little woolly road trip. This is lovely fleece for rug making. This is lovely.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Nearly got it all. Of course, we're going to do this and then we'll turn it over for the rug making process.
But even so, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a beaut.
So, that is
a very brief introduction. We can later on, when we get a good spinning fleece, happy to go through that and talk about how I would sort that, keeping my different lengths and sorting out the areas of the sheep and everything. But the fleece I've got at the moment is not really suitable for doing that.
And we are also going to do a little video, probably the next one, on once it's processed. So, you know, tops like this I happen to have in my hand. What else have I got on the shelf? Here we go. Very small carded bats. Different types of processing and what we use them for. Oh, Sue's thought of something.
We've got here a bag of bats. This is a Manx Lofton. It's been washed, hand prepped, and run through the drum carder. We can use that. In fact, yeah, that's that.
No, this is that. Oh, that is that one. It is that one. Yeah. So we get ourselves very confused In fact, the last rug we did, we had to label each individual bit as we were going. We were getting so confused with it.
Especially when we come to put the different whites together. But
So that will be our next video. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. We hope we've taught you something about raw fleece. Please like and subscribe. Oh, and big news, keep an eye on the Ann Harber Facebook page and Instagram page, because we'll be announcing the opening of our brand new website.
woohoo!